Shadows of Secrets, unraveling the twists in Port Charles. In the fog-shrouded heart of Port Charles, where loyalties fracture like autumn leaves underfoot, the winds of fate are stirring once more. As September slips into October, General Hospital promises a tempest of revelations, heart-wrenching confrontations, and betrayals that could shatter the fragile alliances of its most iconic families. From ghostly returns that defy the grave to inheritances laced with deceit, the next 3 weeks, from September 29th to October 17th, unfurl a narrative tapestry woven with suspense and raw emotion. At the epicenter stand figures like Sonny Corinthus, whose empire of shadows teeters on the edge, and Carly Spencer, whose unyielding spirit faces its fiercest trial yet. Prepare to be ensnared in the drama, where every whispered confidence could ignite an inferno. Echoes from the past, Nathan West's haunting homecoming. The week of September 29th through October 3rd dawns with a resurrection that sends ripples through the veins of those who mourned him. Nathan West, the steadfast detective whose life was cruelly snuffed out years ago, has clawed his way back from oblivion, a miracle that Nina Reeves, ever the bearer of burdensome truths, cannot keep to herself. In a sun-dappled corner of the hospital, Nina confides in Britt Westbourne and her formidable mother, Liesl Obrecht, painting a portrait of Nathan's improbable survival. The air thickens with disbelief and tentative joy. Britt's eyes, sharp as scalpels, widen at the news, while Liesl's iron grip on composure falters, unleashing a torrent of Teutonic questions. For the West women, this is no mere reunion, it's a seismic shift, a chance to reclaim stolen time amid the ghosts of loss. Yet, joy in Port Charles is a fleeting illusion, often veiled by suspicion. Elizabeth Baldwin, the nurse whose life has been a battlefield of hidden scars, senses the undercurrents. As corridors echo with hurried footsteps, she corners Britt in a moment of stark intimacy, her voice a velvet blade. "What do you know, Britt? And how deep does it run?" Elizabeth's probe is no idle curiosity, it's born of her own labyrinthine secrets, a fear that Nathan's return might unearth truths long buried. Britt, the brittle-hearted surgeon who has danced on the razor's edge of morality, meets the challenge with a flicker of defiance. But surprise lurks in the shadows. What revelation could unmoor her so completely? Whispers suggest Nathan's mind bears the cruel stamp of amnesia, a 7-year void that erases alliances forged in fire. Could Britt, that enigmatic force who might have schemed alongside, or even under, the command of the man she once loved, now confront the agony of being forgotten? The possibility hangs like a storm cloud, promising a confrontation that could either mend fractured bonds or rend them irreparably. As the week crescendos, these familial tremors collide with broader tempests. Jason Morgan, the loyal specter of Port Charles' underworld, stands resolute at Britt's side. Despite the encroaching darkness, rumors of her fading health and the weight of unspoken regrets, Jason vows unwavering vigilance. "I won't leave you to face this alone," he declares in a gravel-toned oath that echoes their shared history of sacrifice. In a town where abandonment is the cruelest currency, Jason's refusal becomes a beacon, a defiant stand against the inevitable. But will it be enough to shield Britt from the gales ahead? Veils lifted, Veronica Bard's enigmatic arrival. Amid these personal maelstroms, a new enigma slithers into the Quartermain fold, her presence as polished and perilous as an heirloom blade. Veronica Bard, portrayed with the gravitas of a seasoned siren by Erica Slezak, materializes like a figure from a forgotten family portrait. Her introduction to Tracy Quartermaine unfolds in the opulent sprawl of the Quartermaine estate, where chandeliers cast judgmental light on every feigned smile. Veronica's words are silk-wrapped steel. She is Monica Quartermaine's long-lost sister, a revelation that strikes Tracy like a thunderclap. The matriarch's eyes narrow, dissecting this interloper with the precision of a corporate raider. Is Veronica a harbinger of healing for the fractured Quartermaine lineage, or a serpent coiled to strike at its heart? The intrigue deepens under the eaves of Bobby Spencer's modest home, where fate orchestrates an unlikely convergence. Sonny Corinthus, the brooding kingpin whose life is a chessboard of calculated risks, encounters Veronica in the chill twilight. She approaches with the poise of one who has weathered tempests, her gaze locking onto his with an intensity that belies the casual exchange. "Mr. Corinthus," she murmurs, her voice a low melody laced with intent, "I've heard tales of your influence in this town." Sonny, ever the sentinel, sizes her up, ally or adversary? Their dialogue crackles with unspoken agendas, a dance of power where every pause pulses with possibility. For Sonny, adrift in a sea of eroding trusts, this stranger could be the spark that reignites old flames or fans the embers of paranoia. But Veronica's ambitions cast the longest shadow over the Quartermaine legacy. The reading of Monica's will, a ritual steeped in pomp and peril, erupts into pandemonium the likes of which Port Charles hasn't witnessed since the great ELQ upheavals. Gathered in the Grand Library, beneath portraits of stern ancestors, the family braces for division. Gasps ripple through the room as the executor unveils the decree. The sprawling Quartermaine mansion, that bastion of blue blood secrets, falls to none other than Rani Veronica herself. Accusations fly like daggers. Tracy's voice rises in a shrill crescendo, denouncing the will as a farce, while others murmur of favoritism's foul play. At the vortex stands Martin Gray, the silver-tongued attorney whose charm conceals a labyrinth of loyalties. Is this bequest the fruit of his shadowy machinations, a maneuver to consolidate power under Veronica's enigmatic banner? The chaos spills into the night, alliances fracturing as suspicions fester, setting the stage for a war of wills that could topple dynasties. Trials of Fire, Carly's Reckoning and Beyond. As October unfurls its crimson canopy, the weeks of October 6th to 10th and 13th to 17th, these threads tighten into a noose around Carly Spencer, the phoenix who has risen from ashes too numerous to count. Interrogation looms like a guillotine, her adversaries closing in with questions sharper than scalpels. Who holds the strings, perhaps a vengeful rival from Sonny's tangled web, or an echo of her own past sins? Carly's firebrand resolve will be tested in chambers of judgment, where every evasion could cost her freedom, her family, or the fragile peace she clings to. Yet, in true Spencer fashion, she counters with a blend of wit and wrath, turning the tables on her inquisitors in scenes that pulse with electric tension. Interwoven are the aftershocks of Nathan's enigma. Brit's surprise evolves into a labyrinth of doubt. If amnesia has erased their covert collaborations, what leverage remains? Elizabeth's spotlight intensifies, drawing in Liesel's protective fury and Nina's conflicted empathy, culminating in a midnight vigil where truths teeter on the brink of confession. Jason's vigil over Britt deepens, their bond a quiet anchor amid the storm, even as whispers of her Huntington's diagnosis claw at the edges of hope. Sonny's orbit with Veronica spirals into uncharted waters. Their roadside parley blossoms into clandestine meetings, where she dangles hints of Monica's hidden legacies, perhaps a fortune veiled in mystery, or scandals that could unseat the Corinthus throne. The Will's fallout escalates. Tracy rallies a counteroffensive, enlisting unlikely bedfellows in a bid to reclaim the mansion, while Martin navigates a web of ethical tightropes, his loyalties pulled taut. By mid-October, the crescendo builds to operatic heights. Carly's trial intersects with the Quartermain melee, as buried connections surface. Could Veronica's arrival be the key to Carly's exoneration, or her undoing? Jason faces a crossroads, torn between Britt's fragility and calls from Sonny's fraying empire. And Nathan, piecing together his shattered recollections, stumbles upon a fragment that could vindicate or vilify Britt forever. In Port Charles, redemption is a siren's song, and survival demands the heart of a warrior. As these 3 weeks etch their scars upon the soul of the city, one truth endures: no secret stays submerged beneath the harbor's depths. Tune in, dear viewers, and let the drama consume you, for in the general hospital of life, the next pulse could be your own.